Well, I guess same thing we're kind of asking Gabe. I mean, do you feel like the DL is going to be a strength of this team this year?
Of course, of course. In a sense, it was last year, but this year, especially with coming off of a lot of experience from last year, yeah, of course, it's gonna be the strongest. And that's where you want it, in that front set.
How much different are you as a player right now than you were coming into last season?
I'm a more cerebral football player. I know a lot more about the game than I knew last year.
Yeah. How much? I mean, people say, "Well, defense." How much does that help you play your position? People think defensive end, you're just rushing and playing that. How much does it help you the more you learn about defense and offense?
Well, more than help me, it helps the defense. Because a lot of the times I'm setting the edge of that defense, and if it's not being set, I screw the whole defense. But it helps me play faster in those situations and actually get me more sacks.
Do you feel like you're playing a different kind of end with Van Gorder? Are there things that you're doing a little differently? Maybe emphasizing something different?
We're emphasizing more attack, penetrate. I think that's to be. We're a lot more aggressive than last year.
For you and Corey, I mean, that's kind of right up your alley,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, of course. The speed will really be
Where are
the
you right
advantage.
now? You're ready to
That's what he wants. Explosive, powerful, and fast players.
How much will it help you guys to have improved inside guys? I mean, take some of that pressure off those tackles. I mean, how much have you seen out of those guys this preseason?
Come out the D tackles?
Yeah.
Oh man, like I said, when you play the game of football, you're gonna get better. Especially at this level because it's so important to all these players. You come here to play this sport, you're gonna get better. But even when you have some guys like me, Nosa Corey, and Ladarius Owens and Craig, guys pulling along and doing well, it's just up the competition. And of course, I think you naturally will get better because it becomes more important.
What have you seen out of President so far?
President is going to be very good. President to me, he's going to be fast, explosive, just like us. As a freshman coming in, it's just a lot to learn. But he's picking it up fast.
We talked about depth at defensive tackle. I mean, you guys have a load of defensive ends. I mean, how much does that help going into a season, knowing that you got some guys that can pick up the slack?
Oh, it helps a lot, especially that front four. When you're hitting and hitting. The advantage is on the offensive side of the ball, them the same people. When you're rotating, 6 and 7 D tackles, that's gonna put a big hurt on the offensive side of the ball.
Van Gorder wasn't very happy with the alignments early in camp. I feel like you guys have got that all straightened out and you're pretty much getting where you need to be every time?
Of course. He set the bar high. He set the standard very high, and I'm starting to meet it every day, every practice. We're starting to meet it, and that's what we needed. We needed a sense of urgency, and we got it.
How much you looking forward just to play in the game, just to kind of see where you guys are?
Of course, I'm ready to see us play. I try to more focus on doing my job. The more I get, the happier I get, the more I focus. Because you never want to get too excited, but I'm very excited. But I have to hold it down.
So a smiling D Saturday night's a good D.
A smiling? I don't know about smiling. I'll be relaxed.
Yeah.
When you said you're a more cerebral player, is that because the Van Gorder kind of taught you to think a little bit, or maybe just being injured, you spent more time thinking about it last year, the strategy?
A little of both. Seeing the game from outside in really helped. I want to be a complete player. I think last year I was more considered just a pass rusher, but I never wanted to be a guy that just gets in and do one thing. I was focusing on being a complete player. Then when Van Gorder came, he came with a more complex defense, and you have to learn the system or you're not going to play. So I think everything just